Okay, so this is a different kind of video. I just figured I should have some gameplay video on the channel. This will be the first one, and it'll be following a couple of games from the current Rank 1 player. He doesn't just play Marcus, just happens to be his most recent games are on Marcus. And I think, I mean, I don't know how many people have been or have watched high elo games, but it's helpful to see how they're playing the game, even though it's not going to be totally applicable to your games in lower elo. It's just the principles are solid. It's like you want like the foundational principles. So you're going to see a lot of screens, a lot of patience, not just like chucking. And also like the whole idea of playing offense in basketball, at least in 3-on-3 basketball, is moving people around the court, making people, pressuring them, and getting them to do what you want. So you're going to see in these games, I think one of the most common mistakes for scorers to make is they'll try and pass the ball like way too much. Like you'll see in, I can't remember if it was the first or second game, the enemy team, they're passing the ball way too much, it's getting intercepted a lot. And a lot of times too, it's just like, there's no reason to be passing the ball in those cases. Like you're not under pressure of it being stolen or anything. It's not really like changing the court situation. So I think you just want to be more patient, be more cognizant of the decisions you're making, you know, also like your positioning, all that. I mean, it all matters. Also, I'm just showing you like, also this small variance in like the character you play. Somebody like Fire King is a lot less mobile than somebody like Chelsea or Cher, Mary, Susan, Jessica, etc. So that'll dictate as well how you play. And I mean, some scorers need screens more than others. I mean, every scorer would like a screen, and against certain blockers, you just need screens. So it's like not like some scorers will not get screens, but some of them are able to isolation better and don't need to be playing behind screens the entire game. You know, they can look for one-on-one isolation and win. Something like Fire King is not usually that type, unless he's getting like a quick shot off or something. Yeah, don't be too hung up on the character you play. As long as you're playing somebody that's decent, it doesn't really matter, and you're likely going to be playing behind screens anyway, if you're playing with a decent center, or whatever. So, let's just watch the games and see how they go. Yeah. Okay, so you see he's playing Marcus, he's playing Fire King, and Jin, the new character. I'm not going to say the name, because I'll completely butcher it and insult everybody. And before that, he was playing Lightning and stuff, so I think he just plays everything. But this is a competitive lobby. All these players are good players, and you'll see how they both play the matchup. So, see how Marcus is holding the ball a lot? He passes the ball, but it's going across the court. It's not like it's a lateral pass, or like right next to him, it's going decent distance, also like changing the dynamic of the court. So it's not like a meaningless pass. He takes the 2. It's not often you'll see a Z-Long this early in a game start opting for 2s, usually because there's so much time on the clock you can afford to be going for 3s, and it's like taking a 2s that early in the game is surprising for somebody that can hit 3s pretty easily. We saw Marcus play behind the screen. That's going to be something you see very often. You see that pass was not really necessary. But you're gonna see a lot of people make passes like that, and it's punished often. But that shot is good. It's just that he went a bit too far back. That was a good shot though. If the step back was not as far, it would have been in for sure. And see, the point guard was in a position to take the free 3 because they're overcommitting to the Marcus. So they're just playing offense a lot cleaner. They're using screens better. The point guard is, in my opinion, doing a better job. It's not like the LAN setting bad screens. The LAN setting is setting good screens. It's just they're not moving the ball around as well as the other team. So just keep your eyes on Marcus and see how he plays when he has the ball. See how he's double covered, so it's okay. He just chills, he takes his time. He's not spam passing it, he holds it, passes once, gets it back, and looks for the shot. And that's the same thing that I think the center is asking Zilong to do, is to be more patient, take good shots. And when you have a good shot, just take it. Don't, sit there. And another pass. Just another pass that was really not necessary. And when you're giving up these possessions against a team that's taking threes, it's really hard to come back. If you're playing versus a dunker, like, every 3 possessions for dunker is 2 possessions for a 3-point team, right? Obviously, like 6 and 6, but one takes 2, the other takes 3. There's a lot less punishing versus dunkers to lose a possession. Versus a team like this that's shooting threes, it's going to be a lot harder to come back. Just piles on the points too fast. You can see, just like really clean. Holding the ball, controlling it, not panicking, just playing it slow, trying to move them around the court and get them where you want them to be. Also, that was a good shot. I thought that would have been blocked by Robbie. It's a good shot. Yeah, there, it's surprising he did not pass to his point guard. Becky was wide open, but also, like, I'm just not, as a scorer, like, anytime I score, I don't really like my point guard, unless it's like a Lily or something, comes up and screens me when my big is already there screening, because now I cannot pass the ball, like, there's nobody to pass to because they're both screening. So I'm really not a fan of that. I think sometimes point guards try and do too much, and, yeah, I think keeping it simple is a lot of times the better play. Yeah, she was in position to take the 3 there. But this was not a really close game. They just played a lot better, a lot cleaner game. But you can tell, like, he very rarely, if ever, was isolated. If anything, it's the point guard that's isolated, because she can pinpoint pass across the court. Also, of course, he's the better shooter between himself and the point guard, so it makes sense that he'll be the one to have the screens. You'll see the next game. It's against the same team, but they're versus a Randy. If you don't know, Randy mostly shoots 2s. He just, like, takes 2 points, whether it's a dunk or layup, shot, whatever. He does have the ability to shoot 3s, but most of the time it is just 2s that he's taking. Oh, did my recording stop here? Oh, I must have stopped to talk about the comps. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot why I stopped here. But yeah, you see it's Marcus, Yasmin, Lan. So if you don't know, Yasmin is like a stat stick kind of point guard. She gives shooting stats. Lan's screen also gives some sort of shooting buff. I don't remember the exact buff it is, but maybe it's like added resistance or something. And then you're versus Malik, who has the flying block and is a menace. And Reina, who is really fast and can a lot of times afford to, like, invest a bit of time to come try and steal the ball from you. She can also get in range to apply Chatterbox or her little, like when she does her, like, dash steal, it, I think, adds interference or something, or a shooting debuff. It's something 15%, I can't remember the exact and what it was, but anyways, it's not an easy team to play versus as a shooter, so it's interesting to see how they end up playing this. You can see the scorer is playing, I think, a lot better on the 2-point player than he was. Like on Randy, he's playing a lot better than he was on Zilong. Obviously, it could just be a bad game, where this was a good game, but you can just see that it's a lot smoother. Also, I don't know if that Malik didn't get off his flying block, because it seemed like he didn't get any distance when he did that block. Usually you get like the purple animation and they fly. It didn't seem like he really flew, so maybe it's the angle he came from. I don't know. It was weird. I would have thought that was not a safe shot, but he didn't really get the angle, I guess. Hey, you see the Marcus? He's holding the ball for the most part. He's not passing too much. And when he does pass, it's for a reason. I think he just controls the ball really well, and he knows like when he should be holding it and when he should be passing. Not often he's passing well, like it's intercepted, or I think just understands really well possessions and what his role is. Ace takes a clean 3. And on top of watching the score, watch the center and how they're playing and how he's playing with that center. It's also very helpful. A lot of times people will switch roles, right? They go from center to score or score to center, and they'll learn so much about the other role just from playing both. Once you can understand what your center is thinking and what they can actually reasonably do in a game, it's a lot easier for you to score. Same thing when it's like vice versa. So watching how the land is playing and then seeing how the Marcus reacts to that is super helpful as well. So keep an eye on both on both of them. The point guard is going to be less important for you to be watching if you're a scorer main. Okay. Throws up 3. The reason I don't like a scorer like Randy, I feel like a lot of his scoring methods are easily stopped. I think if people played versus him more, he would be not scoring much this game. I think it's just that he's so uncommon and people don't play like Natalie, Randy, Silverwolf too often that defending them is foreign, so it's like they get a lot of free scores like that would have been blocked if people had played versus him more often. So I don't think he's good. I don't think he's a good character. I think he's just scoring again for that reason. You see Marcus is just getting a ton of really good green 3s. And it's not often he's taking shots that are contested. Which of course also just comes with understanding your character's range as well. And like also like affixes and stuff and other characters' debuffs, like so much comes to factor. Does a really great fadeaway. In case you don't know, when you do a fadeaway, your accuracy decreases a bit, but obviously it's a good trade-off for getting a green shot if it's necessary. This game's a lot closer. It's definitely a lot closer. The enemy team is playing a lot cleaner this game than last. Really gets the fine block. And that's why it's a bit tricky, even with the screen, like Lan had the screen, you have to screen Malik if possible, from like the middle-ish of the court, because if he gets to the perimeter, you can definitely still block like you did there. But you can't always do that, so you know, sometimes it's just gonna happen. Not gonna play perfect, and you're also not always gonna be in a position to get a screen like that off. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, eventually I'll be past this cold, so. Honestly, shocking to me that Randy gets these 3s. Most Randy players that I know, they're not taking 3-point stats. They usually take speed, medium shot, and what's the other one? Maybe jump or something. I don't think it's usually 3. I don't think it's usually 3 though. So it's surprising he's hitting these 3s. I mean, they are green, and I guess his base is high enough. But yeah, most Randys do not take any 3-point stats on their gear. And assist, it's usually medium shots. At least like the best Randys. Not that there are many, but... Okay, Lan takes the 3-2. And now looking at the score, they're up 4 points with 20 seconds left. It's basically impossible to lose. Just because of the shot clock timer. If they score here, but it's just not enough time. They can just run the clock unless they give up the possession, which is possible. Yeah, I don't like how they play. I feel like it's a little scary how they're playing it. Yeah, they actually end up giving possession. Yeah, scary way to end the game, but it works. That's fine. And I think I'm gonna turn on one more replay just to watch how they're playing it. So let's go to the last replay. I think the main thing to take away from these replays is just that they're not rushing things. Everything is being done for a reason. It all makes sense. And when you first start the position, a lot of times you're gonna feel weird holding the ball, and then you're gonna see somebody defending you and be like, I gotta pass it. And it's just, you have to get in the habit of have confidence, know when it's good to have the ball, when you should be passing it. And if you just saw, the Fire King, he jumped in the air. Sorry. He was anticipating getting the ball, and he's going to do a quick shot. He didn't get the ball, so he looked a little awkward jumping. But yeah, he takes the drifting shot from behind his screen. The Rex gets a weird 3. Don't even know how that happened. Wasn't really paying attention, but he gets a free 3. So it's gonna be really typical, right? It's bread and butter. He gets a screen, he does the drifting shot. It's really hard to not play around this. I mean, it's like obviously a simple thing, right? A screen and a drifting shot, but if they do it well, it's not easy to deal with. If the screens are really good, if the Fire King knows how and when to shoot. Right there, perfect. Yeah. And he's just playing with his center. He's just playing with the big. Again, this is pre-mades, right? In your games, you're not always going to have somebody that you play with regularly or somebody you're in comms with, whatever. You're not going to be playing as well as these players, obviously. And a lot of people would say if you're a scorer that has a really good big, you know, you're not even really doing anything. You're just... you know, that's obviously a bit disingenuous, and there are definitely really good scorers and really bad scorers. So also, just one other thing to say, when you're playing a team that scores 3 points, and especially if you're in the lead, you typically want to try and drain the clock a bit, because the enemy team, if they're dunking and you're playing 3s, they want more possessions, and you want less possessions. So you typically want to run the clock more. Not that people necessarily do this, and obviously if you get a free shot, you'll take it every time. But if you have the option to run the clock a bit, you definitely prefer to do that. The less possessions dunking team gets, the better. You know, because theirs are fast and easy to get for the most part. Yeah, that's an example of a 4th shot. Definitely did not need to take that shot. It was not a good look. But it happens. And we make up for it anyway. Another thing is, obviously he knows Fire King's kit. Fire King has a lot of built-in resistances. He also usually takes the resistance skill as well as the precision shooter. And the affixes he has, like sniper and stuff. You have to know the gear that you're using, the affixes you have, your character's abilities, to know like the limits and like how you can actually play the game. So that also is a factor. So some of these shots may look crazy, but if you know like what the setup is, then it makes more sense. And you know you should be doing the same in your games. I wish there was a way to turn off the little chat thing. I don't even know why there's a gift box there. I don't know what you'd be able to gift from this screen. I guess this chat would be for, like the replay chat if somebody wants to leave a comment for the people to see. I don't know. I don't really know how that works, but... a lot of those brown shots Fire King will make. So don't be afraid to take a brown shot on Fire King if you have this kind of setup. It's gonna usually be fine. Similar to Luis or Zilong, like, or Haran even, you know, brown shots are usually not bad. Also, not that it's applicable to these replays, but there are comps where you have a team where your big wants you to just chuck the ball. Like, as long as you can make contact with the rim, they're happy. So sometimes you will have games where you're supposed to be chucking the ball, and that's good. Not super often, but usually like your big will tell you, not to hesitate and to throw the ball up, and they'll get the rebound. So that is also something to consider. Sometimes you are in a team comp where you do want to be chucking the ball. Especially in worse lobbies, you'll see that a lot. If people are smurfing, you have a better big, they'll be happy if you chuck the ball because they'll usually get the rebounds for you, or get like a guaranteed 2 from the follow-up shot. But another really clean game, not a bunch of bad possessions and turnovers. Most of the shots were clean, just playing screens really well, patient. Some of the defense is a bit sus this game. Some poor coverage, but not really focusing on defense, really watching the scoring. I'm so sorry, I can't stop coughing. Okay, so that's good. And then at the end of this, I just go to training just to show you some basic movements. I mean, this may be common sense to some people, but... So, when you have the ball, and you're playing somebody who has movement, so has a movement ability, whether it's off ball or with ball, you don't want to be telegraphing where you're going to go, because you want the enemy team to have to react to where you're going. You don't want them to just be able to follow you, you want them to have to, oh, I have to get there, I have to go hedge up to them, right? So, when you have the ball, if you just run to the side like that, the enemy defender's going to be able to just straight up follow you there, right? And then you don't have many options. What are you going to do? You're going to jump over there, you do a dribble move, that's it. You're going to be on top of you by the time you get there. So that's why, typically, even if you do the dribble move there, they're still just going to straight up run at you. A lot of people will get to you on time to contest your shot. Right? So, what you'd want to do on a champ like Cher is simple, and you'll see like really good shooters do this. Right? They get the ball pass, they'll run to the middle of the court, and then they'll commit to one of the sides. Because now they have to react to where you're going, and it's a lot easier for you to get a position to score. So you see a lot of times it will be they'll run to the middle of the court, then they'll go to one of the sides. The thing that I'm showing here is, you can be really patient and you can get a lot of people to throw blocks out, and that's when you get an opportunity to score. If you can bait a block, it's an easy score opportunity, right? So you can do the little hop step, then pass out. There's no reason to play things so rushed. Especially with up and under, it's really easy. Last thing I want to say is I think people use dribble moves way too much. I think realistically, you should only be using the back step. The step back is all you should be using. It's either just the step back and into the hop step back into up and under, whatever. I don't really like the people doing the double dribble move forward. Just so many times it's unnecessary. Sometimes you'll drop the ball, it's just not necessary. But yeah, just switch things up, be patient. Chelsea is an example of a character who wants the ball and does not need the pass, right? So she has on-ball movement, so you want to give Chelsea the ball, and then she'll run to the center of the court and run to one side. You'll see the really good Chelsea players on the server do this. And you have to just know the champion there, or sorry, the character you're playing. So you're playing Chelsea, you should know, okay, I want the ball, I want to be able to create space and run to the side I want to. So you'll be the one carrying the ball a lot of times, that's Chelsea. Whereas on Cher, you'll be the one to just catch the ball and try and throw it. Anyways, hopefully it was a bit helpful to do a small VOD review. Obviously I'm not a professional, I'm not claiming to be a professional, but these are just things that you pick up on as you play the game more. I've been watching so many VODs since I started, so hope it was helpful, and have a nice night.